It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers I found. What a fucking chance. Premeditated batter. Premeditated batter.
Oi, oi, patter ponces, how are we doing? I hope yous are having a sexy Sunday. My Sunday's so sexy. What is it for? Obviously it's sexy, because I'm in it. What else would it be if I wasn't in it? What I'm talking about? We've got birthdays, we've got Mother's Day, we've got Father's Day. When's Hawaii Fivo Day? Hawaii Fivo Day is every Sunday. Apart from last Sunday. Today, usually I record these a couple of days in advance. I've literally recorded this today. So this is almost, see, I always like to go on about how there's a lot of time gap between when I'm recording it, when you're watching it, there's like a couple of hours. Really, it's fucking about what? It's mid-afternoon. I don't want to spoil it too much. But I've had a busy week, man. Yesterday, I was in Manchester. No, yesterday, tell a lie. Friday, I was in Manchester for the first time. Lovely city. Couldn't take a drive. Wasn't too bad a drive. 3 hours. 3 and a bit hours. The drive down there is definitely worse than the drive back. But that was to attend the premiere. It was an unofficial premiere. Shout out Shet Sandu for hosting this night. It was a get-together for the cast of Banged Up. So for those of you that haven't been living under a rock, if you are on my socials, I've been hinting at this big project coming out, and here it is, Tuesday, 9:15pm, Channel 4, Banged Up hits your screens. Let me tell you about Banged Up. I'll give you a wee bit of history, right? So back in the summer, I was contacted by a producer for Channel 4, and they had seen a TikTok video that I'd done talking about being in prison. So, got in touch with me, emailed me, and they said they had the concept for this show where they put 26 ex-cons into a jail environment, and they'll introduce 6 celebrities in order to get a taste of what it's like to be in jail. So, I seen that, I was like, this is right up my street. For the part where I like to try and use my past in a positive manner. I'm not one of these dicks that come on and pure brag, oh, I've fucking done this, I've done that. My past doesn't need to be my present. You know what I mean? I've got so many things going on now. I could literally fucking hide my past and still do well. I don't need to live in it in order to be successful. But with this, I'm like, this is right up my street. Because to me, this seemed like a big brother in jail. This is kind of what it was like to me. But it wasn't. It was a bit more... It was more of an experiment. I think the idea was to highlight like jail conditions and that kind of stuff. I'll be honest, I done it for exposure. I mean, I've seen Channel 4, seen TV, I've seen celebrities, both. That was my keywords, and don't get me wrong, I think a few people were the exact same. Pardon me. So I went through the process. You do, if anybody's ever done it in television before, they'll have like a Zoom call with you so they can get to see how much you're a handsome bastard you are, or ugly cunt if you know me. And they get to speak to you just to kind of get an idea of you. I don't think they got much of an idea of me because they wanted to see me in London. They paid for me to get a train down, which was brilliant. So if anybody seen my socials, I was cycling about London. I went down to meet them at their office. It was in Shepherd's Bush in London, where Central Seas for. And I went down and met them, man. Had it off. Everything was brilliant. And obviously I went a wee tour about London before I went back up the road. But I fast forward, I think it was a really quick process. Like, they contacted me, it was in summer. I don't think it was June, I think it was maybe April or May, because when I finally went into the big bummer house, it was end of June when I actually went into it. So fast forward, went through the process and that kind of thing, and then they went like, right, it's a go. They wouldn't tell us who the celebrities were. A lot of it was quite under wraps, which led me to be suspicious. I felt they've got something up their sleeve. I thought it was going to be one of the ones. You ever see these shows where the contestants will turn up and the show will be completely different? It's like if there was a show, I didn't watch the show, But the show was like basically, it was kind of like modelled in a Love Island type where they get two singles for the opposite sexes and basically kind of so they could meet up, they get put in like this island and that. But the premise of the show was they weren't allowed to have sex with each other or they couldn't win the prize. But they didn't find that out until the show had started. So I thought it was going to be something like that. Obviously, I didn't think we were all going to have to have sex with each other or anything like that. No, but my options were opened. So we arrived there, met a few people, and what I realised, see a lot of the ex-cons, it was all people who'd been on James English, Sean Atwood and that. There was a few I'd seen that I was like, I knew you were going to be on this. Like Lewis Clark, shout out Lewis. He was on it, Lewis, fucking gentleman. I seen him in James English, and obviously a lot of his story is for being in prison and that kind of thing. And when I knew, just see when they tell me the premise of this, I fucking knew, I had a feeling he'd be on it. So I met him, I met a couple of big shit, Sandu, and a good couple of other people, man. It was a good bunch. So we get brought down. The way they were formatting it was, they would bring us down, and we would go into the jail for 2 days before the first celebrity would come in. So the way they worked it, they would have a celebrity come in each day, so they wouldn't all come in at the once. So the first 2 days we were to go and we get read, right, basically, that these are the kind of rules and that kind of thing. But they encouraged us to take contraband in. So a lot of us had phones, mobile phones and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of people that's like, you spent a lot of time in a jail hiding shit. You become quite savvy. The prison officers were real prison officers. Some of them had been retired and that. I think all of them were retired. Bar one, I could be wrong. As far as I'm aware, they'd all retired. They were drafted in so to kind of replicate the experience. And they told us basically what would be going down. But the same thing as well, it was like, it felt as if they weren't giving much away either. It was a fucking strange thing. I don't know, maybe my senses were just a bit more heightened. Because, right, I'm getting into a jail environment, TV, this and that. It's like maybe I was just a bit more on edge. But it still felt that way, right? And see, to be honest, part of me, I think I realise looking back now, this experiment is a first of its kind. As far as I know, on Channel 4 it is anyway. The production team are the same production team that like, make Hunted and these kind of programmes. So, I think they were still finding their feet. It was a really quick process. For when I was first contacted to when I was in the jail, it was fast. It was like a month, 2 months or something. So when we went in, it was in Shrewsbury. So Shrewsbury is an old jail. I don't think it's been used in like 10 years. I think it's been discontinued. I think the word is discontinued, whatever the fuck they call it. And what they use Shrewsbury for, if any of you seen that it was like a 3-parter drama with Sean Bean and Steve Graham. Sean Bean was a prisoner. He was like a teacher, and he was involved in like a hit and run accident, and then he got a sentence. He was in this jail, and Steve Graham was a prison officer whose son ended up in jail, and he was getting blackmailed. I can't remember the name of the programme. So that jail that's filmed in, that's Shrewsbury. That's the exact same wing I was on. So if you'll probably recognise it if you've watched both programmes. So when we went on, it was a fucking jail wing. Obviously, there was cameras and that there, but minus the cameras, it was a jail wing. So we didn't get this. We just get told who we're getting in with. Some people get put in their cells, some get put in with other people. I get put in with a boy Liam Meredith. Shout out Liam for Bristol. Liam's a similar age of me. Might be fucking a bit younger, a bit older. But great guy, hit it off instantly. He came in, so we get asked, hey, what canteen items do you want and that kind of thing. So basically the producers done like a shop run the night before. So we all gave them a list. But I think Liam, he get told to come in. I don't know when he get told to come on the show. I think it was quite recent to when he actually went in. So he brought in like shopping bags for Aldi. And fucking, so we were absolutely packing with all sorts. Sweeties, fucking crisp, fucking shite. Crap, man. So when I went into it, it was kind of like, right, we're here. That's me committed now. Because in the run-up to doing it, right, there was a part of me that was kind of like, am I fucking honestly doing this? Am I going to go back to jail? Because some of you that might be following my socials have probably seen some of the videos I've been posting for in there. But there's some people commenting saying, oh, it must have been brilliant. Going to jail all day, then got to a hotel at night. Like, no. There was no hotel. The jail was the hotel. And we were locked up. It wasn't lights, camera, action. Then when the fucking cameras were off, we were away back to a cushy wee double mattress. No, we were in the jail. It was fucking testing. The first day, everybody was still finding their feet. This is what I noticed as well. It's like, so we get introduced to the prison officers on the first. So the first night, we all turned up to the jail. We got brought into our rooms. It wasn't really official. Cameras hadn't started rolling yet. So we were all still civvies to a degree. We weren't prisoners and screws at that point. And lockup was due. So it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I was, a few boys like, can we get a shower? Aye. And one of the screws, Vicky Morell, her name is, very nice woman. And she done that thing. If anybody's ever been in the jail, they go like, last call for showers! Or she shouted something like, last call for showers, or get in the showers. And anybody knows that mad high-pitched voice, she's for England, right? I don't know fucking whereabouts, but she's, last call for showers! She's got a mad screechy voice and it goes through you, right? And fucking everybody just kind of looked at each other and just started laughing. Like, nah, mate, it's no started yet. Wind your neck in, know what I'm talking about? We must interrupt this podcast for a breaking announcement. There has been numerous reports in the area of a beauty bomb ready to glow up. And it's going to blow away you beauty therapists one appointment at a time. Why? Do you conduct business correspondence with clients via DMs? Are you sick of late cancellations costing you money? Do you just wish you could provide your service without worrying if the client has the cash at hand?
Oh, I need to go to the bank.
Well, I have a solution to your confusion. Glow Out is a service that aims to alleviate the stress involved between a client and the technician booking their appointments. Glow Out makes it easy for clients to see appointments, to book them and to pay. It takes deposits and it gets late cancellation fees, which means you won't lose out on any money. Clients can pay by card or using Apple Pay. Glow Out is also partnered with payment processor Stripe. Glow Out also helps you manage your bookings easily by using your calendar. The busier you get, the more stressful it is to keep track of who you've actually got coming in and when. Glow Out will help you do that. On Glow Out, you'll also be able to show off your portfolio, showing off your previous work so clients can check out what you've done in the past. It will also be implementing a feature in the very, very near to be future which will connect to your Instagram profile page. You will also be featured on the Glow Out website. You'll be visible to potential clients in the local area. You'll also have access to your own admin panel where you can see your account balance, generate reports, and turn your hobby into a business. Glow Out is basically a Just Eat for beauty appointments. Can't beat the convenience, can you? The mobile app for iOS and Android is coming soon. But in the meantime, for $5.99 a month, you will have access to all these features. But if you sign up using Fivo promo code, you will get the first 3 months free. You can't whack that for a bargain, can you? Give your business the glow up. It needs to blow up. And glow up before you glow out. So, but the minute I heard her voice shout that, I was kind of like, see that way when a hypnotist and your fucking back, it hypnotise you, that click, that's what it was like. It was like, fucking hell, man. It was like, I almost felt a shiver. Because it just reminded me, I was like, I'm fucking back in the jail. It didn't feel like a film set. It's strange. The first day, we got up and everybody was still kind of easing their way in, obviously getting to chat to people and that. I think we were still wrapped up in the kind of novelty of it. Right, we're back in the jail, we're on telly, that kind of stuff. So, as it went, the thing about jails is, right, anybody that knows has been in a jail needs to be run by routine. You get exercise, you get your lunch, you get your dinner, you get rec, you get to play pool, you get the gym. See, these things, these are structured. Unless it's like a job or something where these all go together. But with that, you rely on these things to get you through the day. Like anybody that tells you, see jail, see once you've been in a couple of weeks, you ease into it. The first few weeks is the hardest because obviously you're in jail. But the other side of that is once you develop a routine, You get a routine like that, right? I'm up, I get my breakfast, I go to the gym, maybe go to exercise, lunch, I go to work, I come back, I get dinner, dubbed up, I get wrecked, I get a shot of the phone, day's done. And that's how you get through your days. Because no very many people just sit with nothing to do all day. It's fucking dementing. When you're on demand, aye. And even with demand, you kind of develop a wee bit of a routine, but it's fucking brutal. When you're convicted in that, you can get a job, or there's more options of getting jobs. But that's the thing, that's what gets you through your sentence, your routine. So, when, for instance, in a jail, if you don't get the gym, if your gym gets cancelled or exercise gets cancelled, you're fucking furious, right? So, and exercise is a human right. So that's another thing, right? So, we banged up. We had a production company try to run a jail. And see, production companies, see the filming process, shooting and all that. Everything takes ages. Everything takes forever. Things drag on. You need to reshoot. You need to do other angles. Nothing runs on schedule. So when you've got a business model, or you've got a production that doesn't run on schedule, it might not even have a schedule to run on. Try to organise something that has to be run on schedule in order to keep the peace. It's going to lead to an explosive moment, and within about 2 days, I was into it, and I was like, fuck this. I was locked up all day. We didn't get open for exercise. Everybody was locked up, and this was like 2 days into it. And I went in with the thinking, right, we're going to all have jobs here. They're not going to put us in a jail just to lock us up all day. Like, that would be pointless. They want to get as much television out of us as they possibly can. We've got 10 days. It's costing a lot of money to do this. So I went in under the impression that we were going to be busy, doing a lot of things. But for the start, 2 days into it, we had pretty much been dubbed up the full time. Nothing had really happened. So we were like, what the fuck is going on here? And I remember I was still dubbed up with Liam. He went to this anger management group, and I was kind of a bit annoyed about that. I should have waited the group anger management. Fucks it with raging. Like, how the fuck can I know? How am I stuck here? So I was in the cell, fucking furious, man. Like, you fucking prick. No, I'm not saying you prick to him, just like fucking raging. And I was sitting like that to myself, right, I'm fucking going to bam these cunts up, this production. I need to get out of this cell. I'm going to run up the tap and try and climb the roof. I just had visions of myself like ripping the roof up and all that. Just causing pure anarchy. And then like a fucking switch went in my head. I was like, wait, I can just leave here whenever I want. I can get up and walk out. And then it dawned on me, it was strange. I was getting that sucked into the experience. And I wasn't the only one. I heard people going after their nuts, shouting, kicking doors, going fucking mental. It was going nuts. So the second day in, the production had to call a big meeting between everybody, between the staff, between the cons, between them. And they had to say to us, listen, remember why we're here. We're here to make a TV show. Everybody fucking calm down, pretty much. As people were raging, know what I mean? There was things that were happening because we'd signed contracts. There was certain stuff we couldn't do. So people were breaching the contract. So, and then I think some people were telling the production company what to do and this and that. But, they had to have a stern word and just go like that. Listen, if you don't want to do this, leave. You can leave whenever you want. Just, no, I'm talking about reminding us. So that, when we had that meeting, that kind of reset everybody, man. That kind of, we kind of realised, right, we're here for a reason. But there's a thing called the Stanford experiment. If anybody's never heard it, right, I'll just kind of break it down quite quickly. So I think it was back in like the 70s or the 80s, I'm not too sure on the exact date. There was a psychology class, and they done an experiment where they split the class into two halves. One half of the class would adopt the role of being prison officers, and the other half of the class would adopt the role of being prisoners. In the class, they built this wee semi-jail environment with wee cells and that kind of thing, and they conducted this experiment as if they were in a jail, and they wanted to monitor the behaviours of the prisoners the prison officers. And quite quickly, the prison officers soon started kind of like bullying the inmates, like laying down the law on them, that shifting them about and all that stuff, moving them, and fucking the prisoners, they started rebelling. Some of them were doing like hunger strikes and all that kind of stuff. It was like, it was fucking blowing up. That's when, and within about 2 days, somebody came into the experiment, sort of like I don't know if it was another lecturer or something, or they came in to supervise it. They turned up and they were like, this has to stop. This has gotten out of hand. And I think the professor, they had gotten right involved in this. Like, no, we can't stop it, because it was meant to originally last 2 weeks. They ended up pulled the plug in the full experiment. And they actually done a documentary on it. You can check it out. It's actually on YouTube, the Stanford experiment. So somebody told me about this. See, I told my sponsor about this show I was going on, and he told me, look into the Stanford experiment, because he was trying to show me that in these situations you can adapt, you can, you know what I mean, fall into that, get sucked into that environment. So I went in armed with this knowledge, but there was some point in the experiment, we were in 2 days, and there was producers, right, they would wear the prison officer uniform. They weren't acting as prison officers. The reason why they were wearing the uniform, just for the cameras, it stuck with the continuity. If the cameras maybe picked it up, they wouldn't need to edit it out, or if we seen them, it wouldn't break the illusion. But I remember there was a producer, I think Lorna name was, and I had kind of dealt with her before going on the show. So this is out, I think in London I went to go and meet her to do my interview. And I was looking at her, she was wearing the prison officer uniform, like 2 days into this experiment, and to me she was unrecognisable. I felt like I couldn't approach her, I was just distrustful of her. I was like, and that kicked in immediately. Like with the screws, let's see, for me, I don't like to be seen talking to a screw for too long, because I worry if somebody's looking, if I look too friendly. So that was going on, and it was like I was up to stuff, and I was keeping the edgy for them, and I was like, it was strange. I was like, this is a fucking producer. It was fucking odd. I just seen her as a screw. It was the fucking weirdest thing ever. And after they had that meeting, that kind of helped settle things, man. But there was some people there that had done like 20 years in the jail and that. And see, for me, what I noticed, see, being in that environment, I immediately, I was getting flashbacks of memories that had happened in the jail like 10 years before. Stuff that I'd forgotten about. But as soon as I was in that environment, it's as if my brain reverted back into that. And the comparison I try to use for something like this, see if you get flung into the jungle, right? And you're in the jungle, you've got fuck all. You're going to learn to try and survive. You're going to try and survive in the jungle. So in the jungle, you're going to need to adapt to the conditions, the environment. Going to need to hunt, going to need to cook, going to need to kill, going to do all these things in order to survive. If you spend some time in that jungle, it becomes a norm for you, right? Let's say you leave that jungle for a period of time. You adapt back into society, whatever culture or civilization you come from. You adapt back into what you knew before. But see if you were to be placed back in a jungle environment, immediately all those that survival instinct would kick back in. You know what I mean? Because you need to rely on these skills to survive. So that's what I compare that to, getting back into jail. It's like, for me and for everybody on that show, because they done quite extensive checks on people. There was nobody, you couldn't be a sex offender. I slipped through the net. No, I'm joking. But you couldn't be a sex offender. You fucking quite rightly. You couldn't have any pending cases, and they were quite anal about something like, especially my offending history. They wanted to know about it. They done like background checks and everybody. So everybody's doing positive stuff that was on the show in terms of the ex-cons. But see, getting into a jail when you're like that, when you've got a lot of things going well for you, because I experienced this 2 years ago when I went to Berlin for something I done in 2018. I've spoke about it fucking to the death. I committed a crime in 2018 and I didn't get the jail for it till 2021. So by the time I get to jail, I'd really kind of put all that shit behind me. I was doing quite well with my life. So when you're getting back in that kind of mind frame, like, fuck, it's like, you can't really find your way around that. Before, you're like, right, I got caught. I'll learn not to get caught next time. With this, you're like, fucking, I was doing well. It's like, it feels unjust. It was that. So, it was a really challenging experience, man. People won't understand unless you've done it, how challenging it actually was. Because every time I've been in a jail, I've been there against my will. I've been given a date, for the most part, and that's when I'll get out. Until then, I'm at the pleasure of His or Her Majesty. But with this experience, I could leave whenever I wanted, which, when it does get tough, when you're sitting there, you're getting shite food, because you were getting shite jail food. It was worse than the jail food. It was fucking... I hope they made that themselves, because see if they hired some cunt to do that, they should get the fucking bin. They should get jailed and fed their own fucking food. The food was atrocious, man. The wing, it was old. It was like an old stinking jail, man. It was fucking manky. It was worse than Berlin. Berlin, it seemed more modern than this. If you've ever been in Berlin, you'll fucking be like, what? Aye, it was fucking market. But don't get me wrong, see, meeting the people there, the ex-cons and that, fucking some great people, some inspirational people, and anybody that knows about being in jail, see when you spend a bit of time, and it was only 10 days we spent with each other, but because we were all in living the same experience, we were all, it's not as if it was a jail experience, nobody had been there longer than anybody else. There was no so-called veterans of this experience. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that had done a lot more jail time than us, but there was no one there that had been in before us in this experiment. They'd done a pilot before, but we were all living this together, we were all experiencing it together, everything that was going on. So with that, you form a kind of fucking, it's that kind of bond. It's like something that's, if you've ever done any jail time or spent any considerable amount of time with somebody, you really just this kind of connection. It's because you've shared this experience. But it was mad then when the celebrities came in, that was interesting. I'm not want to go in too deep into the celeb experiences because I want you to watch the fucking show. But they were good. Obviously we had first celebrity was wee Harvey, HRVY, a wee singer. He appeared. And we'd kind of briefed to like fucking give them a hard time. So when he came in, cunts were grilling him, man. I would have fucking hated to have been in his shoes, see, actually thinking about it. He was in, don't get me wrong, he rolled with the punches quite well. And he settled in quite quickly because he's a young boy. See, the thing is, man, you go into jail, there's a lot of predators in the jail. There is, but the thing is, see, for a lot of people, there's a lot of decent cunts. A lot of people see somebody with, you can tell it's somebody like Harvey's never been in a jail. You can see the innocence in his face. You know what I'm talking about? I think because all us, we're all hardened ex-criminals. You can see it in our eyes. We're fucking accustomed to this shit. We can deal with it. With him, you can kind of see it was like fucking just, it was pure innocent. It was young. So there's a human aspect in probably always. I'd imagine there was, because always have fucking turned their back on fucking crime. We're just trying to better ourselves and use these opportunities to try and show, look, we're not all the same. So he settled in quite quickly. Obviously had a few experiences where it was made to be feel less than comfortable. But that's the jail experience. And Sidone came in, Ricky, for EastEnders. I was actually shocked at how fucking small he was. Seriously, man, that's the first thing I says to him. I seen him, he's like 5 foot something. 5 foot nothing. I swear to God, he's tiny, man. First thing I says to him, man, like, I fucking thought you were big. And then he's like, you must have a big telly. You're a legend, mad Sid. He actually put on an acting class in one of the scenes, and I performed at the acting class. I think that's in episode 2, so check that out. With Tom Rosenthal for Friday Night Dinner. Didn't really speak to Tom much. Walked in my cut a handful of times. Didn't really get to know him, that man, but he's quite a funny character, quite eccentric, quite quirky, and he's a funny guy. The shit he got up to, I think he ended up going on a fucking hunger strike, you know, at one point. And with Neil Parish, the Tory MP, that was the one we'd all been kind of briefed about. We've got a Tory MP coming in, and for me, I'm like, Scottish, get the flag. Got a Tory MP coming in here, I'm fucking, this is for Scotland, wait till I get that cunt, he's in. He came in, and don't get me wrong, he was getting grilled. There was cunts had surrounded him, man. And I could see he was answering, but he was nervous as fuck. You could tell, and who wouldn't he be? He's got a fucking group of mad, scary-looking cunts hanging around him, asking him questions. But he soon settled in quite quickly. And within about 2 days, he was winding people up. People were barming him up, and he was winding them back up. He was giving it as good as he goes. He was a farmer. He still is a farmer. Mad Neil. And he fucking is some guy. He ended up one of the boys. I would say I'm quite proud of him. You know what I mean? I got on well with him, man. But it's like, never thought I'd have seen the day. And you had Marcus, a guy for Gogglebox. I'd seen Marcus afore on Gogglebox. He came in. I think he had a few instances at first. I think he got humbled quite quickly. Not by any of the prisoners, just by the experience. I think he can handle himself, the guy, not I'm talking about. But I think there was somebody had a wee argument with him. And I think he realised, he was like, ah, right, wait a minute, you can come into these places with the best intentions and people will still fucking try it on with you. And the last person was Peter Hitchens. Hope I've not missed the end there. Peter Hitchens, anybody doesn't know Peter Hitchens is a journalist. He doesn't believe in drug addiction and he thinks jails are too soft, there should be harsher sentences or jail conditions should be harsher. So when he came in, nobody really knew who he was. Some people did, but nobody was really too clued up because I'd known who he was, but I didn't realise it was him. I had seen him debate Matthew Perry, God rest Matthew Perry, died today, R.I.P. Chandler. I seen him debate Matthew Perry on Newsnight some time ago, and Matthew Perry's an ex-alcoholic, and they were debating about drug addiction, because Peter Hitchens doesn't believe in drug addiction, he doesn't believe it's a concept, he believes, let's say, an alcoholic, he doesn't use the term alcoholic, doesn't believe in it, he thinks you're a heavy drinker, he thinks addiction's a choice, to a degree, and when he came in, nobody really did know who he was. Didn't he stop them trying to bam him up, but aye, that, he got his glasses stole off him. As he came in, I ended actually, somebody stole his glasses and handed me his glasses and I had them, and I ended up giving them back because obviously I've got a heart. But he got it quite at first, and I actually had a chat with him about addiction and that. I was telling him, and I actually managed to get a wee discussion with him. I wasn't trying to debate him, I wasn't trying to fucking jump down his throat, I just wanted to see his viewpoints on it, man. And it was good to chat to him. He's very, very, very staunch in his opinions, but his opinions come from what he's researched. So he's not the kind of guy to just say something for the sake of it. If he says something, he's researched it. There's at one point he's in addictions class and they said something about most terrorism is conducted whilst high on marijuana, which led to a bit of conflict at the group. I'll let you find out because it appears in one of the episodes. But that's the thing, I think I mentioned everybody, Harvey, Neil, Peter, Tom, Sid and Marcus. So that's the 6 celebrities. If you watch the programme, you'll see there's 7 celebrities. The 7th celebrity wasn't actually there. He done the pilot. So they done a pilot where they ran it for 5 days just to see how it would work. So they've used him for the pilot. So he did have the experience, just not the same experience as us. Television though will make you believe it all happened together. But don't let me ruin it for you. But that's the thing, right? We've got people, look, as we say, we've got Harvey, he's set out like the fucking, is it the Albert Hall? Is that in London? The Royal Albert Hall? He's set that out. He's like a pop star. He's like a mini Justin Bieber. Tom Rosenthal, like a famous actor. He's on fucking that Friday night dinner. I think he done what was that other fucking one? Plebs. Ricky Feastenders, quite famous actor. Marcus, famous on the telly. Neil Parish, a Tory MP. And Peter Hitchens, like would you say a decorated journalist? A well-known journalist. All these people come for like shit lives so far from what we come for. Experience as well. None of them have been in jail. Some of them don't believe jail's hard enough. Some of them come from different social classes, social groups. Some of us would have never have mingled with these people on a normal day. But what you find out about jail, right? It's a great class leveler. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't matter if you're a politician, if you're an actor, you're a celebrity, or you're a fucking drug dealer, or you're a fucking attempt murderer, or whatever. All yous are on the same landing. You get the same food, you get the same canteen, you use the same showers, you wipe your ass with the same toilet roll, you brush your teeth with the fucking same make of toothbrush, you get exercise at the same time, you get the gym at the same time, and you get bammed up after screws just the same. You use the same phones. You do everything that's the same. And when you're in jail, you're forced. If you want to you need to get to know people. Purely for the fact you're going to be with them, so you may as well get to know them. And some people you'd maybe like no talk to in the street. Oh, you'd be like, alright, see you later, mate. You can't get away from them in jail, so you're kind of forced to communicate with them. But when you do, you realise fucking how similar people are. You don't see that bullshit that because you're in the fucking jail. The Bayfies have done something to get there, so that you've already got something in common. Because the jail makes us all have something in common. We're all in jail. So that's the thing with the celebrities. They came in, some of them came in with preconceptions about what they were going to do on the show, what impact they might have wanted to have, or they might have had preconceptions about what type of people we were. But within a couple of days of all of them, they all just became cons like us. You know what I'm talking about? All up to the same mischief, all doing the same shit. We were all the same. Some of them, you could tell they were nervous. Some of them when they first came in, then they adapted, and then there you go, that was it. Welcome to jail. So that was a beautiful thing to see. And at the end, I think it was the last day, they had a big meeting with us, and obviously we got to ask the celebrities about their time inside. I don't know if that will make the cut. And every one of them got a bit emotional. I'm talking about it was quite an emotional experience, man. It was like, because I think a lot of them had went in armed with these opinions, and yeah, man, they understood like fucking people can be beautiful, man. Especially they come from the hardest of backgrounds, they've done the fucking craziest of shit. They'll still fucking treat you with respect. I still try and offer a helping hand, still show kindness. So it was a beautiful experience in that sense. And see, for me personally, going through it all 10 days in a jail, it was a fucking long 10 days at times. At times, it was a long 10 days all the time. Times I felt like leaving, a few times, but I was like, fucking stick it out. Just stick it out. And I'm glad I did. And give myself a pat on the back for doing it. The people I met were fucking great. Some amazing people, some inspirational people. It taught me a lot about what I need to be doing in life too. And also taught me that I can coexist in a habitat with other random people for a period of time in an environment that I can't really leave. So, big brother, I'm coming for you. But that is out Tuesday at 9:15 PM. So, there was 10 days of filming. Out of that 10 days, they've whittled it down to 4-hour-long episodes. So a fucking shitload has been cut out. I appear in every episode, although I don't heavily feature in any episode, but I've got my moments. Which I can't ask for more than that. I'd rather feature in 4 episodes. I don't want to say a minor feature, because I think I do have a feature, than have one full episode. You know what I'm talking about? But one thing I'm fucking pissed off about, and I want you to be pissed off about it, I know. See this Scotland flag? I smuggled this down to the jail. It's got a big fuck off yes in it, right? Yes for independence. I'm taking this to jail. I'm taking this Channel 4. I'm showing you. The bastards blurred it out. My fucking yes flag's blurred out. I done a speech at one point with that flag around me. They cut it out. Apparently Channel 4 lost their shit out of this flag, which I'm raging about. And I'm going to make a big song and dance about it. So, when the programme's out and you see that flag has been desecrated by the bastards at Channel 4, shout for freedom. Freedom! But in other news, Fury and Ngannou, what the fuck? And they didn't watch it. Fucking spoiler alert. If you don't watch it now, you don't give a fuck. So I watched it last night. And a lot of people saying Francis Ngannou won. He fucking done a lot better than I thought he'd do. I thought he'd be fucking swinging like a fucking windmill in about and getting his head punched off him. He's done very well. He was a lot more disciplined boxer than I give him credit for, that I thought he would have been. So fucking fair dicks to him for that, man. Fury, I feel, looked fucked. He looked a bit heavier than usual. Don't get me wrong, he was still moving and that kind of thing, but I don't feel it was at his best. Pardon me, and I'm not taking it away from Ngannou. Ngannou fucking done brilliant. But I think because a lot of people are saying Ngannou won it. I think when you tally up like the scores, see like obviously you get the jabs ratio and all that kind of thing. I think Fury did have the more jab count. I think Ngannou had more power shots, but it was only a couple more power shots. It wasn't many. So I think Fury did edge it, but it was a very close fight, and fucking Ngannou done amazing. But that's the thing as well, and it goes without saying, when it went to a decision, Ngannou never would have won. Like, Saudi Arabia are hosting the Usyk and Fury fight in December. The last thing they needed was for their undefeated fucking fighter to get defeated. Half a fucking UFC fighter, an MMA fighter in his first boxing debut. Imagine what that would have done for their show. Because Usyk, he's undefeated. Fury's undefeated. That's a fucking big selling point. You know what I'm talking about? But in regards to that fight, you can make an argument for Ngannou looking like he should have won, but if you're counting it, the jabs ratio and all that kind of thing, Fury did edge it, but it was a split decision, so it was mental to see Fury go on like that. But I think somebody pointed out to me that, of course, he's bipolar and that, and it's possible he's going through one of his episodes, because I think before it he's sitting chatting to everybody in the crowd and all that kind of thing. That does fucking drain you. And his interviews in the lead up to it, he was on that hyper fucking manic way, because I know people with bipolar, and the way they say it, when you're manic, when you're happy, you're fucking ecstatic, you're up there, you're up in the clouds, you're fucking buzzing with life. But then when you crash, when you plummet, you're at a fucking all-time low depression. So it's fucking up and down. So it's very possible he was going through one of the modes. Then after it, he won the fight. It was like that way. It was trying to hang with Usyk and that kind of thing, man. But I think he just wanted out that ring. And see, I'm no bipolar, right, by any means. But if I can't be arsed with people, one day I get my days I just can't be arsed. We all get them. See, if I've got stuff I need to go and do, stuff I'm committed to, I'm like, fucking can't be fucked with this. So look at the scale of that, right? If I scale that to Tyson Fury's level, like, you're on a world stage, you've got people want to interview you, you're having to go and fight one of the hardest hitters in fucking MMA history, who's want to take your fucking head off this behemoth of a guy, and you're doing it in front of this crowd. You've got all this pressure because if you lose this fight, then it'll fuck your next fight, and then you need to sell the next fight after this fight, and you're dealing with all the press and all that. That must be fucking hard. It must be hard going, man. So I can kind of see how someone and that's just for the average person, never mind fucking somebody with bipolar disorder. It must be a fucking roller coaster at times, because you ever watch that at home with the Furies? I watched that and you kind of get a glimpse into it. Obviously, television's edited to look a certain way, but with that, it was like, fucking hell, man. The cunt, she'd fucking must be up his ass, so I don't envy him. I'd love to obviously have the money, the fame and all that kind of thing, man, but to be him, having to deal with being bipolar and being one of the fucking most famous, biggest athletes in the world, literally, as well, must be tough going. But what do you think? Do you think Fury won? Do you think Ngannou edged it? Be curious to see. But aye, I'll not keep you much longer, man. I've got shit today. Just because it's Sunday for me doesn't mean it's a rest day for me. And what's a rest day? It is a rest. I'm doing shit in my house. I'm filming a podcast. I'm going to edit a wee tune I'm doing. I've got a few things and I'm about to write a wee tune. I'm just see, boredom kills me, man. It really does. I've realised that. See, days when I sit and don't do it, man, it's like, this gives me purpose in life, this shit. Everything I'm doing, these creative endeavours, it's what fucking gives me meaning. That way, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, I don't drink, I don't take drugs, and it's because of that. This stimulates me. This gives me something that fucking you can't get with drinking drugs. So I'm grateful I've got this to pursue. And life's beautiful right now. Fucking rhymed that here. There we go. Tell you to go write a tune. But anyway, I'm going to crack on with my day, people. It's been a beautiful chat. Beautiful time to chat with you. Guess. I've just been mad busy with everything else, man, to have a guest down, man. Contacted a few people, no heard back from them. But if there's any guests you think might be good to get on the Patter Poofy to return, comment section it. But anyway, enjoy your Sunday, people. Like, subscribe, and don't get wide. Catches.
Premeditated pattern.